3 and a 2.
RuPaul Drag Race.
Oh!
Hey, kitty girls. It's Sunday, April 18th, 2021. Welcome to Comes Out Loud Drag Race, Season 13, Episode number 15, RuPaul's Drag Race Reunited.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
So, I will explain this look later during the episode.
Sure thing.
If you saw the reunion, then you might understand this very weird homage throwback. It will be explained later.
I think I have an idea. Maybe. We'll see.
So, for those of you that don't know who we are, welcome to nearly the end of season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race, that Comes Out Loud DR show, where we recap the episodes and talk about what we thought happened during that. For those of you that don't know, I'm Gary, and with me over here is my ever fabulous co-host.
Looking confused. Hi, it's Damon. Hi. I realized I thought I had some lip balm out here, but I don't. I think I had taken it into the bathroom to put it on because there's a mirror in the bathroom. And lips feeling a little dry. Oh well.
Well, with that said, this episode was familiar yet different. So it is the time of pandemic, so things were done virtually? ? And I'm sure we'll kind of give more thoughts on that here in just a moment. So if you're ready, Damon, you ready to get into the first section?
Let's do it.
Okay. Racers, start your engines, and may the best drag queen win.
Yeah, so put the pedal to the metal. This is our overall thoughts on the episode. Damon, what did you think?
So I put down disjointed but fun. So the format was very different than, say, last year. Last year, we had all the queens kind of on a conference call doing this sort of slumber party kind of moment. And they all were kind of, I'm sure they were probably chit-chatting and kikiing and all that stuff all over throughout the episode. And again, it is obviously produced. So there's probably some moments where they were asked questions or things were going on. So this felt very much not that. The format was very different. Essentially, we heard from each individual queen separately. And then we grouped a few of them together. Then did a couple of pairs. And that was kind of odd. And I kind of was like, okay, that's cute, but like, and then like the whole point of that was so like they would each ask each other questions. Like there was a question from America or wherever from the viewers, and they would ask each other a question or two. And again, hate to say it, you never know. I don't know if these are actual questions from people or if this is actually like fans or if this is actual just like produced bullshit. Because remember the whole Miss Vagey thing from, I think, last year, I think. Was it last year or was it 11? No. Anyway.
Last year, where she kept being all the characters, like
I'm this mama from like South Side City. Anyway. Anyway. But anyway, and then to kind of add a little fun-ish to it, each of the queens produced their own music videos for, like, either they were lip-syncing to a song that they, like just a song, like a pop song or whatever, or it was a song that they originally wrote or did. And yeah, like that was cute. There were some hits and some misses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't, again, I don't know who produced these videos. I don't know if they did them themselves. I don't know if they got like some like coin to like hire people. Because again, I'm adding on to this, like there was COVID, so they kind of had to be really cautious and careful about what they did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you'll see if you watch the episode, a lot of the videos are pretty much them. It's one person kind of mugging to the camera and doing stuff. Or for the sake of like Tamisha and a few others, like they had some dancers with them, but like in Tamisha's, the dancers were all masked. Yeah, they were close together, but they were all masked. So yeah, it was cute, it was fun, it was different. But the disjointed for me, just it felt like they weren't reunited,
Mm.
if that makes sense. There was no like all of them coming together. Now we'll see what happens with the finale, but like what I saw was just that. And to kind of add insult to injury, as it were, the top four aren't in drag at all.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion they will be for the finale this
Well,
week.
yeah, obviously, but like,
I also wouldn't be surprised if none of the other queens are present at all. Like, it is literally just the top four and Rue, and they might do like some remote stuff to reveal who gets Miss Congeniality.
mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, that was my thoughts.
Okay.
It was okay. Like, I mean, it was fun, but it just felt very. Eh.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I said better than last year.
Mm.
I didn't hate last year, but in comparison, I really liked this year's.
Mm.
Last year was so weird. Like
Mm-hmm.
Rue and the Face Keeney incident, like,
Mm-hmm.
and how like she looked like a Mexican wrestler
Mm-hmm.
in a tracksuit, and nobody was really sure quite what was going on, and there was all this speculation that Mama had been like, nipped and tucked, and that was why she was wearing that like headgear to cover
Mm-hmm.
up scars or puffing or whatever. And Rue didn't have really anybody there to do her makeup. And so yeah, I don't quite know. It was just a little odd. Now, to be fair, last year was strange because they had filmed pre-COVID and aired during COVID, so they were kind of like making it up as they went along on the fly, at
Yeah.
least for the reunion and the finale. So yeah, I thought that this episode of the reunion was better than last year because it was much more succinct. Like once I started to
True.
get the pattern, I was like, oh, okay, a couple of queens, they all were asked to do like a music video thing, like to give them some more airtime. It does fill in the episode, and
Mm-hmm.
we didn't do the traditional like rehashing a whole lot of
Mm-hmm.
like what happened during the season.
There were
Like,
there were vignettes of each queen as they were like talking.
mm-hmm.
Um, I will admit I did like that as opposed to, well, let's just call it what it is. The producers creating or rehashing or bringing up the drama
Mm,
again, for the sake of now you're all in the same room.
right.
Like, let's hash it out.
Yeah. So I definitely liked this format better. Liked I did not love, but I really liked the questions as
Mm-hmm.
each of the top four arrived. I've watched several of those videos on YouTube with, I think it's Vogue, or is it Vanity Fair? I think it's Vanity Fair. Like, does these great, like, so many questions with so and so,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
like the Tracy Ellis Ross one is amazing. The Donatella Versace is good. The Lady Gaga one is really good. Like, if you get to watch it, it's pretty fun because they basically follow them around wherever they are and ask them a whole series of questions. But they tend to ask a lot. So the running gag was it was 69 questions with, which they didn't really ask 69 questions. They asked about 5. But it was done in this nice black and white vignette. I always kind of wondered when I watched the real videos if all these questions are pre-screened. So the person knows what the questions are, so they can kind of think ahead about their answers instead of on the fly, like, answering.
It's Vogue.
It's Vogue? Okay. So they're fun videos. So I appreciated that they added that element. I would have liked it more if they had been more authentic with it. Because it became really more obvious, especially with Rosé, because she would do a spin. Like, every single time, like, that it led into a question or whatever. And I was like, okay. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I was like, all right. I mean, some of the answers were kind of fun and cheeky. So I think overall I really liked this reunion episode better. It's not the best in the world, but it was all right. It was fun. You know, everybody got to get reacquainted. I appreciated that some of the queens talked openly about what it was like to see themselves on television after the fact, and then it clicks, like, why this didn't work on screen, like how this thing wasn't working. Like, Denali cracked my ass up, how she was, like, you know, basically trying to murder her sister in the lip sync, and she was like, girl, she already dead, like, you don't have to, like, keep... I was like,
she dead. Like, stop already. Stop it. She's already dead.
So I thought that was really fun. Like, and oh my God, Tina Burner was not in red, orange, and yellow, and her makeup looked good. Now, granted, I would kind of expect that right now because queens can get better with their skills and or pay somebody to paint their face for the reunion or the finale. Like, that was something that really annoyed me. Which season was it? Maybe 10? They were backstage, and there was all this backstage interviewing stuff. And lo and behold, I caught in the background of one of the interviews that Alaska or somebody was doing. I'm like, that queen did not do her face. Like, someone else is painting her face backstage at the finale. Like, she paid an artist to come in to make her look great. And I was like, I was really kind of conflicted about that. Because I was like, I thought the whole point was that you are a drag queen and you beat your own mug, honey. And while I can appreciate that it's the finale and you, like, you know, want to look astounding and look your best, I was also kind of annoyed because I was like, but it's supposed to be your skill and artistry unless you're always going to be having your entourage with you to do everything for you. And then you're more of a product than a person. But anyway, so that's just me, like, being judgmental about all that jazz. So that said, you know, I'm not accusing that of Tina Burner, but she looked really good. You know, actually all the queens pretty much did. Well, except for... Anyways, I have a bone to pick. I'll get to that later.
Okay.
So yeah, overall, I thought that the episode, I thought that it was better than last year for the most part.
That's fair.
I appreciated that there was a lip sync for charity. So Rue decided to have 2 queens compete against each other as the lip sync assassins of the season. I thought that was an interesting twist. And then $10,000 in charity got to go to the project for charity that Denali had picked. So she got a redemption out of that. Lala Ree got the Boot Award. Whole new,
the
like,
golden boot.
Yeah, I was like, girl, what is this shenanigan business? But it was
had the absolute worst look of the season. Congratulations, you get this golden boot. Okay, mama.
Yeah. It amused me, to say the least. So yeah, like, overall, I thought it was better than last year. So that's how I feel about that. You ready to move on?
Sure.
Okay.
Cover girl, put the bass in your walk. Cover girl.
All right, time to stomp the runway. Category is... I bet there ain't no category. But I said reunion step up question mark. And so the reason why it's a question mark is I was thinking as a contestant coming back for the reunion, my expectation is that you would step the game up, like that you would present the best of what you had.
True.
I don't recall feeling like any of the contestants was a catastrophe.
True.
Like, that anybody really kind of looked crappy.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like Joey J's hair was a bit of an eyebrow raise, but also hysterical.
Yeah.
Where she gets asked the question about wearing a big hair wig, and then she was like, "That's awkward." Like,
I mean, it's true though. That moment. I will say I appreciated that moment because I thought it was very funny because she is wearing hair and it's not just her boy hair, all done up or whatever. And but still like we're like can you wear big hair? Can you do something else? And she's like, no, this like, but this isn't big hair. Like, no, that's not big hair, dear. Like big hair. Well, I'll tell you what was big hair. Big hair was Olivia Lex's hair.
agreed.
Like big hair was that. Like gorgeous. But she probably had to sit on. I don't know if she was sitting on a stool, but she probably had to sit really carefully because if she tipped back, that she was going down with that ship. I'm just saying that was a lot of fucking hair. I mean, it was gorgeous, beautiful. I don't know who made it. I don't care. I mean, I don't care. I like whoever made it. Mwah, kudos to you. But mama, like, that is some hair.
Agreed. Very much. Yeah.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts and overall then regarding what people presented in the episode? I guess let's put it that way.
Yeah. So I put down fun looks and good times. Like I kind of said, like I think it was surprisingly like I don't want to say casual, but that's kind of the word that comes to my head. They weren't. No one was like dolled up. Like, oh my god, like I don't think I recognize you from before. And we kind of, they kicked it off with like Kimura wearing one of those like black beaded like wig thing numbers. I mean, she looked good. Everyone looked good. Like I will say that. I think I need to talk to Miss Tamisha. I think we need to either do something like either retire the boob the boob thing or come up with something else because it doesn't work. I'm just gonna like cover it up. Like we need to start covering up. I understand. I don't care if you're kind of like. I mean, we could throw back to Miss India Fair from like season 2, 3, where like I spent all that money, so you're gonna see him like every fucking time. Like I get that, get it, got it, good. But like, maybe we don't need to see him every time. Maybe she was the only one. Like as I was looking through it, I was going through the episode. I was kind of like, I don't want to say I hate it, but I don't love it.
Right.
And I think it was really just the boobs and the colors were a little like the purplish, light, bright colors. I think she was kind of going with like what we have here, the kind of the theme of the season, this very kind of pastel-y color look. And it worked, but it was okay. Anyway, I appreciated most of the queens. I appreciated what they did. I would have liked to have seen the top 4. I'm gonna nitpick that to death in like drag and actually doing stuff. But again, I have a feeling this was pre-recorded. I mean, obviously pre-recorded, but I feel like everything else was pre-recorded. Everything was pre-recorded. Um, there was nothing live, and I don't think they're going to do a live finale.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think they're doing a pre-recorded finale, but this time in a theater as opposed to in the studio.
Yeah.
So we kind of got what we were wanting
Mm-hmm.
because we just didn't want another virtual Zoom in your living room
Yeah. Lip
thing.
sync for their life, or yeah, whatever they're gonna do. Anyway, so, yeah. I mean, some standouts for me were obviously I loved Olivia's hair. I loved the I also um oh, the name just left my head. I love Denali. That was who it was. Girl, like, if you did that face and or that hair,
Mm,
like, that was beautiful. Like the green and blues, and just like this, like going into this hair. And if I remember correctly, I think what you were wearing, because you kind of gave us a peek at it during What You Packin'. I think you're wearing your finale or your final runway dress that you talked about on What You Packin'
hmm
in this video,
Right.
whether Skype or whatever. Because I remembered you talking about it being like the Australian Aurora Borealis and like the makeup working, and it's stunning. It was stunning.
hmm
I love that lip, like that blue to green, like, oh, so pretty. Yeah. Yes. What about you, Gary?
Okay.
Ooh, whoa,
So
wait, hold on.
what did you?
I hadn't read that yet.
Oh, apparently. I suppose I should get this ready. Yeah, so what I wrote was, Rue, what happened? So let me talk about my homage of what I'm wearing. For those of you that are not seeing the video, I'm wearing a gray plaid flannel button-down shirt with blue stripes in it,
Mm-hmm.
for a very explicit reason. Because of what Rue wore as the
Mm-hmm.
MC of the Reunited. Honey, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to say this, but I do not think that was a Klein Epstein Parker suit because it was ill fitting. Mama, it was not a custom tailored suit. I don't know what the story was, but the pants were too big. The jacket was not nipped in. It is not definitively what she normally wears when she's wearing a suit as a host. I was so confused. I looked at it and I was like, what? Okay. This is a little different and it's very muted. And I get that the backdrop, like,
Mm-hmm.
of the stage, spoiler alert, uh, where she was recording was all done in black and whites on purpose, which I thought was a really great color aesthetic because if that's what they're sticking with for presumably for the finale, then whatever the girls wear should pop,
Mm-hmm.
like color wise against it or whatever. So like this at least that's how I'm interpreting that. But mama,
Yeah.
what was this that you were wearing? No, 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 no. Like I don't know what happened there, but it was not good. Like it wasn't horrible, but it was definitely like more conservative, which confused me greatly given what she'd been wearing this season. And like, she's standing there and I'm looking at her and I look down because they had like a full body shot and I was like, them pants don't even fit you. They're too big. I was like, what is going on? I
I'm
was confused.
wondering, and this is me just thinking out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm wondering if they changed their mind about
Mm.
having her be
All
like,
done up.
yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
Um, or I wondered if they switched suits. Like, if she had a different suit plan and then color wise, it just wasn't going to work. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the key light, all these things, like, it was just going to be too bright or too something, and it posed a lot of issues.
Yes.
So I was thinking as we were getting ready. So, behind the scenes for everybody, I did not get to see the episode until literally an well, an hour before our normal recording time is when I started watching the reunion. That's how long it took for iTunes to finally like load it, and make it available.
Y'all.
So I would have already been a half hour late alone trying to start the episode as soon as I finished watching it, let alone like make the like
Mm-hmm.
artwork or the rest of that stuff. So
So
that's why we're
I,
late to it. So I wasn't gonna do anything, and then I remembered how much I was disturbed by the suit. This gray flannel with blue striping suit business that she wore with the gold brooch of that, and I was like, you know what? I have a flannel shirt that's kind of the same print, not the same,
mm-hmm.
not identical, but close enough. Damn it! So I'm just gonna poke a little fun at Mama Rue and be like,
There you
bitch.
go. What you doing? What you wearing? What you got on?
Mm,
Mama, what's going on?
yes, yes. In terms of what the rest of the queens were, I mean, I thought they did all right overall. I want to talk just very briefly about the music videos. To
That's
me, the music videos got better as the episode went on,
that's fair.
which was weird because I didn't expect that. Like, I expected them
Mm-hmm.
all to kind of be on the same plane.
Mm-hmm.
Joey J doing In Sync.
Oh yes,
Girl, that was a choice. Like, I don't have a problem with
yeah.
you doing In Sync. Like, I thought it was kind of cute. But the
Uh,
fact that you dressed up as the five of them,
mm-hmm.
I was like, now this is getting into this weird, like, 1980s Genesis puppet parody, like, kind of odd. Like, I was like, I don't understand what's happening right now. Like, they look like horrible SNL improv skit like versions.
I
I
mean,
was
that's what
like,
they were. Like, let's not like let's not get it twisted. Like, that was okay. Like, uh, Justin. Okay, we need curly hair and we need something like kind of beigey and bulky, whatever. Chris, we need to get that like stupid fucking like wig like hair with like either maybe with braids. 'Cause, I know it was later. I know that this was different, but like no, we need the braids because that was what he did. If you remember back in the day. And then oh my God, Joey, like we just need a short wig with color. Red preferred. Okay, got it. Go. Boom. Like tease that fucker out. My kid is standing up. Oh, it was beautifully tragic. Like let's just say that.
okay,
I
that's fair.
um I caught it immediately, and as a fan of the boy band when it was out, like I will own that I was a fan.
Hmm.
Um, it it was a good little throwback.
Hmm.
Um, and I thought it was a good sort of tongue in cheek to the fact that Joey tends to not wear wigs. However, if I'm not mistaken, and I'd have to go back and look at the video again, I think all of the like instincts that she was were wearing wigs.
Yes,
Yeah,
right. But then when she was Joey as Joey in the
yeah,
club or whatever,
yeah,
she was not wearing a wig.
yeah.
So yeah, it really, but then and the bitch got Lance Bass
Uh huh.
as a cameo in her music video at the end to wake her up because she fell asleep supposedly on the bar top.
Yes.
And she got
I,
Lance to call her a filler queen.
yes. I fucking died with that. I loved that. I think that redeemed the video for me because it's obviously like I'm sure they either made it themselves or got some little producing done
Right.
because they're clearly obviously she can't be she's all five so they can't all be in the same room so she probably had to do like editing and
Five
layering and all
versions.
that shit.
Right.
Yeah. Um. So it wasn't the greatest because like it seems pretty fucking obvious they're like not next to each other
Mm-hmm.
because there's arms melding into arms. but but that kind of redeemed it to get just like that Lance Bass. I don't know who did that, if you got the coin or if he volunteered or whatever. Don't care. It was so appropriate and so fun.
Yeah.
that it made it for me.
Girl, however you paid Lance, it was worth it. Like, I don't know if you gave up some booty or if you dropped some coin, made a charity donation. It was worth
Ooh,
it for the music video.
I
What?
think the taken man.
Ooh, no, she better don't.
Don't matter.
Huh?
Maybe they got an open relationship. You don't know.
Yeah, I guess whatever.
um, yeah. So like, I mean, Kimura's was okay. I felt bad because I was like, girl, you obviously need a better editor or a director. Um, I thought Lala Ree looked amazing for all her like to camera confessional interaction moments. Um, her dance off, like I was like, girl, that stretch fabric don't stretch right on you. So like we need to not do that. It was this red snake skin something or other, and it was around the shoulders and the armpits. It kept gathering, like when she did certain arm movements, and I was like, oh no, I would have requested a cutout or something like to not make that a.
And and I noticed she would.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, it's one of the things you like as someone who's been doing and watching drag and has been in those like costumes that don't quite fit because maybe you gained a few pounds or 20 pounds, or you've lost 20 pounds or whatever, kind of thing. Because sometimes it happens. It's a thing.
right.
Mm.
What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, and one of her outfits in her music video, one of her looks I was not a fan of. I was like, oh, girl, please don't do that one again. But for the most part, she looked really good. I really appreciated that. Tamisha, honey, it's 2021. It's not 1999 or 98 or 97, because that's what your video was kind of giving me as a throwback. There was a lot of like soft edging, visual effect kind of stuff. And hey, you could wave that fan all you want. I'm just speaking some truth here. I'm spilling some tea. When
Yeah.
you have background dancers and they're dancing around you and you're with them and the camera is straight on, my eye line should show every single person every single second. And like 3 or 4 times I counted, someone blocked somebody else. Like a dancer blocked you blocked a dancer, this body movement put a hand over someone else's face, like whatever. And I was bothered by it only because people talk so highly of Miss Amon and how, she has this like kind of dynasty, so to speak, and she's such a fierce competitor and she always has this dance troupe. And they are really well done. Like I've seen the videos online. Like they put together some really good productions. For a music video though, honey, I was like, did you have like 3 hours to knock this out and like you didn't have someone really directing and like snapping to get the counts, like to and the visual to see what's happening in the camera to like get the blocking changed a certain way? Like that part disappointed me.
Yeah. It's very, like, I agree that it's very dated. It is a very dated, and it also, I'm gonna be blunt, it was very simple choreography. It was cute, but it was simple.
Yeah.
And the issues I see, like with like people getting missed or moved, that's a matter of the choreo, and that's a matter of like the lines and spacing that you need someone to help with or something, because it didn't quite work the way it should have.
Right. And here's I guess where this is, I'm going to own this, is not a fair comparison. But in a world where Todrick Hall puts out music videos that really set a certain pace and a certain threshold, girl, like you're going to be compared whether you want to or not. So if you're going to have a bunch of people of color in a video together and they're doing like a dance choreo in sync, same moves, like people are expecting crispness, they're expecting like a certain execution. And when that doesn't happen, I guess it's disappointing as a person who is, someone who's supportive of a queen and appreciates what they do. So I was just like, okay, like that's not exactly the best thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Elliot with two T's, obviously in a club, like, you know, somewhere in Vegas, like putting that whole thing together again. Wasn't that impressed? Like, and her outfit, like I was a little confused because I was like, girl, like where's your padding? And again, we've got this one leg as a pant, one leg not. I just, I don't understand. Like
I
it's
don't.
apparently her aesthetic or what she prefers, but I don't think it's flattering.
Yeah, it's a dance costume. It's a dance costume trope of like one leg out kind of thing.
Mm,
Like I get it and I understand it, and in some ways it works really well. I don't think it works really well on you
mm.
all the time. I won't say ever, but I will. Um, but the few times we've seen it on you so far
Mhm.
has not been the greatest. And yeah, moving on.
Um, what else did I want to say? I forgot who I was going to talk about.
I can I say I was not a fan of Tina's.
Okay, of her
Like
music video or of
uh,
her like
her
just
music video,
okay.
because she was one of the few that did the original song,
Mm-hmm.
and it was "Turn It and Burn It," and I did not understand the words.
Mm.
Um, I did not understand the concept. Well, kind of. I obviously everyone is kind of dressed like outfits you wore on the show
Mm-hmm.
in your classic yellow, orange, and red motif.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got that, but you were in this dark hair, dark outfit that did not look good on you. Um, that just it just didn't work. And I personally, I hate to say this, and I'm gonna stop saying for, I would have preferred you in your classic colors,
Mm.
and maybe done the flip of it because it's all about you. So maybe you are in your classic colors doing what you normally wear, and the rest of the people that were in your video for whatever reason, um, are in like more like muted tones. That way, the red, orange, yellow pops more
Mm.
to kind of flip the script a little bit. But whatever. It was your video, it was your choice. It was a choice.
That was a choice.
So, um, yeah. I mean, most of the queens they look pretty
Yeah.
good. You know, I mean, I realize I'm being kind of being critical and pointing out some nitpicks and stuff, but you know, I mean, like we haven't seen you in a while. You appear back on the screen again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of expecting a certain like level of whatever, and sometimes I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is
Agreed.
that.
I would have liked. I think for the most part, everyone looked pretty good. I just think that there could have been some other choices made that would have made it a little bit more known how much growth there had been.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they maybe there was a stagnation because of COVID. Like, because so if they recorded in August, not
Mm-hmm.
April, August 2020, couple of months, that's October.
Right.
October. Well, whatever. So they finish then. They
Mm-hmm.
go home. It's now, we're if you remember, like things started spiking again because of Labor Day weekend and such. So a lot of stuff wasn't really ready to be open and things were still kind of shutting down. And there was this, I think around that time we got there was notice of a new variant and blah, blah, blah. So most things were kind of closing ish again.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably maybe didn't have time to do a whole lot more. You know, Again, previous seasons have had opportunities after they wrap to go back out and start doing performances and what have you again. These queens did not.
Right.
They pretty much had to go back home and back into their homes and wait.
Yeah. Are you ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay. All right, hunties. Time for snaps and eye rolls. The hits and the misses, the highs and the lows of the episode. Damon, who are you giving snaps to?
So this is a weird little funny take. It was so while you were talking about Rose and how she was kind of performing during her 69 questions, I will own that I appreciated her because she was on. Like that's the one thing I will get that I appreciate about Rose is that she's always on, or not always, but at least for the most part. And I loved her little like faux pas in one of the questions because I think they asked her about Denali. And I'm trying to remember it in my head. I didn't write it down. I wish I had. But she was asked something, and she said something about Denali, and then she went like she like flubbed it and went into another thing. I wish I could remember it, but I loved it because I thought it was like one of these moments like she's playing to that whole like what the psychic said and her and Denali kind of having this closeness, and Denali mentioned it during her little interview. Yeah, they were close, and we know that they were close. Were they close? They're not saying. Granted, you know, Rose has a boyfriend. I think even Denali has a boyfriend. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. So it's one of these things where I'm like, okay. It was cute. I thought it was very cute. One other thing, I didn't add it. I'm going to add it here in a second. But I also want to, I have to laugh at Miss Lala Ree. So Jim and I watched it live, and we were able to watch this one live. And I turned to Jim like while Lala Ree was talking, after they went to commercial, I think, and I go, it's a good thing, I think, that Lala Ree went home when she did. And he goes, why? Because I'm like, I would probably have the same issues with her that I have with Candy, which is I can hardly understand what you're saying half the time. Like, and I love Lala Ree's enthusiasm. I love her. She is gay. Like, she is flamey, happy, lovey. But when she starts talking and she starts getting on a roll, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna laugh and nod because she has those moments, but she will go from one sentence into another, and then there's a joke, and then you laugh, and then she kind of gets going, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, she's a fast talker, and it's cute.
Yeah.
What about you?
I want to give snaps to the production because they revealed the finale format. And by that I mean it was shot on location at a theater in LA. Before I saw it today, I actually went online trying to find out if I could determine where the finale or where the reunion episode was airing or streaming online, because it hadn't loaded iTunes yet. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it today before we record. And we might have to postpone recording or just skip the episode. So I wasn't quite sure what was going on. And while I was searching online, I came across this item about that there's this company that tracks locations being rented in the entertainment industry, and it listed the theater as being recorded April 10th and 11th for the finale. And I was like, but no one was really talking about it, so I wasn't sure how legitimate it was. And I even clicked through the link to see like where this reporting website was getting their source from, and sure enough, this source said that RuPaul's Drag Race season 13 finale was re-recorded at this theater in LA last weekend. And I was like, oh, interesting. It also kind of explains why this reunion was aired the way it was, because the stuff that was all done at the theater was literally just days ago.
Yeah.
Like days. So this is kind of like the old days where they would usually, I think, they would skip a week between the last aired episode before the reunion, and then another week later would be the finale. So like they were trying to buy editors time to be able to try to throw their, pieces together. So anyways, I appreciated that right from the very beginning, Rue is standing in the audience of the theater on camera and talks about like, that their top four queens are arriving one by one to the theater and, for the finale. And I was like, thank you for like just owning it and being upfront about it and not trying to cover it up or be secretive or quiet or whatever, because it kind of was already known apparently. But it like I appreciated like, oh good, like we already kind of know a little bit of what's going to happen in the finale. Like it is not going to be at the like sound stage. It is not going to be via Zoom, like virtual in your living room online. They're apparently doing, the whole show in a theater. What we don't know yet is if it's going to be virtual, like not virtual, but if it's going to have no audience except the crew and Rue and the judges, or if they're going to space out people, like if they're gonna, allow some people in there if they're temp checked and masked. Like I don't know. Like so I'm kind of intrigued because it moves us back towards what we used to have, but at the same time they are like trying to address being safe and with COVID, and I don't expect the rest of the queens to be there. I think it's just going to be the top four.
It's possible. Given what we know and what we've seen, I have a feeling it's probably going to be if there's going to be a audience at all, it's going to be a small. It's going to be very limited. It's going to be maybe because if they recorded it like last week, essentially, last weekend, it's going to have to be, either everyone, like we talked about before, like these are the things. So FYI, these are the things that a lot of like choruses and everything else, and theater and everything else is trying to figure out. Like, how do we get people back into seats? How do we get audiences? And the big thing will probably be like either you're going to have to require vaccinations or proof of a negative COVID test. That's one of the things. Those are one of the possibilities, and that's going to be it's wonky, it's funky. It's going to be there's whole guidelines and whatever that's going to have to go into place with that, but it is something to consider. Could everyone, the small attendance that they do have, wear masks and it be helpful? Yeah, you could probably have like clusters of people that are maybe in their bubble that could come and sit in one little area, and then 6 feet or so away, you can have someone else kind of in together. You can have maybe family members of the top four, one or two be part of the audience, as long as everyone's, masked, quarantined, whatever. And that could be a decent enough audience. It's not going to be the same as finales of years past.
Right.
But I do appreciate that it won't be. I agree. I don't think I would like another finale from my bedroom kind of bullshit. Like, oh.
No. I mean, I agree with you. I was just thinking as you were talking about that, how it would be nice if anything, for some audience, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
if all the local LA Rue girls, like
Mm-hmm.
anyone that was within a reasonable distance, could come in. You
Yeah.
know, so like obviously pork chop, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the queens who are kind of in the California area, if they're able to come in,
Yeah.
to kind of fill in seats, that also might be nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so there's something. I mean, if there's no audience, it will make the performing of the lip sync for your lives a little strange, probably,
Yeah.
because you know it'll
Yeah.
just be Ross and you know
Carson and
Carson, I don't know, Crescent, sorry, Carson,
Crest.
croissant,
Crest.
and Michelle and Rue, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, and I'll be curious to see if Miss Jada Essence Hall gets to be there in person to, you know, help crown the next queen.
I would love that.
Yeah. It would be really nice to
Yeah.
see her on stage, like
Mm-hmm.
doing that, but we'll see.
We'll see what they're gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious, and I think I like the idea of potentially it being, like I said, a smaller audience with like queens.
Mhm.
Maybe the rest of the queens, but that's just gonna be awkward. So
Right. Eye rolls, Damon.
Mm.
I'm intrigued reading what you wrote. I don't know what you're
Oh,
talking about, so
so okay. Let me fix my makeup. So I wrote down someone's true colors are shining through. And this is actually in reference to someone we have not mentioned all episode, and well, kind of all episode, and that's Miss Candy Muse. Um,
okay.
I was so I listened to her answering the 69 questions,
Mhm.
and I got a lot of that like early episode all about me arrogant nature from her answers.
Mhm.
Um, I understand she's top four, and that's kind of where I'm getting from it. Is she is now she's top four, and she's reveling in it,
Mm.
and it feels kind of that way, and it feels very much like that's the Candy we all saw, in the beginning.
Mhm.
So all of this growth that she had over the season, which let's be honest, was like, okay, there was some growth, but not a whole lot of growth. Um, is kind of faded a little bit. She sounds very full of herself
Mm.
and arrogant, and it's that confidence slash arrogance line that Tamisha was talking to her, well, yelling to her about, that is kind of um, has shown its face, and that's where my concern is that it feels very much like that. So that's who you are, and I'm not living for it. Like I fully expect you. Like we've talked about it. We both talked about it. Like we don't expect her to win,
Mhm.
but I now don't want her to win. If that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just me. Yeah. True colors. I feel like we've seen this moment that I was not expecting. Well, I won't say this. It bothered me
Mm.
because of what we saw, the growth that we quote unquote saw, and then here we are in this finale, which is very important. And don't get me wrong, but it feels very much like old Candy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
think it's fair. Like I definitely got from her, especially her 69 questions segment, that interview piece, like I definitely got a um I don't know if I want to say arrogant, but such a strong like sense of self-assurance.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of talked about being a star. Like she kept
Mm-hmm.
bouncing back to that. And I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wonder if her attitude is a bit being driven by the fact that she was from the House of Aja, like, and how that all kind of went. Because there had been rumblings and rumors that the other queens in Aja's drag family felt like that they were not allowed to have any limelight. Like, there was only one room for one person, so to speak, and that was always Aja. And, like, yeah, they're just, I mean, and this is a internet rumor speculation, so I'm not really going to get into that. But I wonder if her behavior is more, like, reinforcing, cementing, like, out of all of us, look how far I came, baby. You know, like, and, you know, so, yeah, I mean, there definitely was a bit of a my shit don't stink kind of, like, air. And, yeah, I can concur that, you know, that's not something that I'm really drawn to or interested in. So,
yeah,
I think there's a difference. Like, Simone and Rosé definitively had, even Gottmik a bit, like, all four of them were pretty strong, self-assured, but the three of them really kind of played it off more like, I don't know, just like their delivery of, I think it was more like whimsical fun, you know. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Gary. What? Ooh, wrong one. There we go.
So.
Who's this for?
Oh, there's a clue. I wrote "not living for that lace hunty." Any guesses on who I'm irritated with?
Is it specifically in the episode, or is this a throwback?
No. It's in this episode.
No. Oh, unless you're talking about Utica.
Nope.
Okay, no. Oops.
You're close.
Okay.
Who was she paired with?
Well, she was paired with Olivia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Go
I
ahead.
want you to go back and watch the Reunited. I want you to go back and watch and pay attention to her lace front. She did not apparently learn very much from when she was on her season. In her music video, I clocked her lace on, I think, all 3 different wigs that she wore. 1-inch band. I was like, girl, either you can't figure out how to get a lace to match your makeup, or you can't figure out how to go back over the lace after you apply it to cover it up. Like, there's just something, or your lace is not clean, it's dirty. Like, I can't figure out what the story is as to why it's so obvious. And it bothered me so much in her music video because she was so beautiful. Like, it was such a well done music video. And yet on every close up, I was like, and there's the lace. And there's the lace. And there's the lace. And the thing is that Utica read her for it in Untucked, and they used that clip in the reunion. And I was like, oh, girl, like, I don't understand. Like, this is just a problem. Like, and I don't know if she knows that. Like, and I don't know if she can see it in the moment of when it's happening. But, like, there's a part of me that's like, girl, 4K HD is not your friend, apparently. So that
I'm very curious. I'm gonna try to,
because notably, like, it doesn't look like, you know how queens will, like, use a darker contour around like their forehead area or whatever to kind of, like, show shadow and depth dimension, and that kind of distracts and hides, like, a lace. But when you have a 1-inch band of skin that is darker than the rest of your forehead and it's right in front of your hairline, it's pretty damn obvious, like, that it's your lace, girl. Like, come on.
y'all. Okay, come on.
So I was just really, like, bummed out and frustrated by that.
I'd have to find it. I'll have to find it. I'll have to look at it again, because I will say I was mesmerized, because that's one of my favorite fucking Mary J. Blige songs. And I was captivated by the face. I wasn't really looking at the lace, even though her wig in the, I loved her wig, as I talked about it earlier. in her reunion look.
Right.
Um,
And
oh,
even
now,
that one, I think you could tell and see.
well,
So,
that's the thing, and I'm gonna,
and I
gosh,
kind of
y'all.
wonder. So, not to cut you off, Damon, but I kind of wonder if it's her skin. Like if the complexion of her skin is more the problem than it is her makeup.
Mm,
Like that it like there just isn't lace that matches her
well,
skin, and that's where it always looks darker than her skin, and that's where the problem lies. I don't know.
it's possible. There are a few things, and I don't know a whole lot about lace fronts, y'all. So I will own I don't wear them that often. I actually wore my first ever lace front wig like 2 years ago. So that should say something.
Mm-hmm.
um, Granted, I was able to blend it in. Well, no, I wasn't able to. I had a hairdresser who was there with me who was able to help me. So, but anyway, um, depending on like most lace wigs, you're buying the wig. If you're getting it made or whatever, you're usually getting whatever is available, which is usually a lighter
Mm-hmm.
lace. It's usually a lighter lace. You can get sprays that can tint the lace that'll help, but depending on your skin tone, like you're still going to have to do some foundation work on that lace. You can't necessarily put it on it,
Mm-hmm.
but you should either make the lace as transparent as possible so that when you lay it, it blends
Mm-hmm.
in. Having said that, like the wig from like the show, the episodes of the show, like the ball wig that she had on, that clearly is like, oh honey, no. Um, that very dark like looking. I don't know what that is. I know queens of color sometimes use a darker contour, but I don't think Olivia does so much.
Right.
So that's not it. The only thing I can think of is that maybe the other big thing, the big thing, just so y'all are aware, like cut that fucking lace. Like if you don't need it, like cut it off. Like cut it off.
Yeah.
like like I was again, like the first time I had a wig on, I was very surprised how much lace he cut off of this wig that I put on. Granted, the wig was like a bright red, and laying down, like you're not gonna blend it into my natural hairline. Granted, my hair was under a wig cap at that point, but like it's not gonna happen.
Right.
So like you got to do something. So you have to make that lace look as invisible as possible, and you usually do that with a mix of making sure the foundation works, maybe sure it's laying down flat, getting it glued down as close as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, the only, like, again, the other thing I can think of is that there's a possibility that it could be the glue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if she's a theater queen, which she's said in the past, she's probably using spirit gum or spirit glue to lay it down. And if I'm not, if I'm remembering correctly, spirit gum tends to dry dark.
Mm.
So that could be it too. But again, I don't know.
Right.
Either way, um, work on it, Olivia.
Yeah. When you come
Work it
back for
out.
All Stars after you win Miss Congeniality this season, like go hang out with Bianca a little bit. Take a trip to Palm Springs. She'll set you right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's it. That's the reunited reunion episode. This coming Friday, a new queen gets crowned. It appears so far, knock on whatever you need to, We are not immediately rolling into All Stars right away.
Yeah.
We've got these international shows that are kicking up, like Spain, I think, just started. So I'm kind of hoping that that's the bigger like universe plan for all the RuPaul Drag Race series, that like they're just gonna constantly have them running year round. But the beauty of it is that they'll like space out the US stuff. So, like, oh, okay, so now we're watching España, and then we'll watch, you know,
Australia.
right, and then, we'll do All Stars, and then we'll go with another like Canada, and then a UK, and then like what,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
just kind of keep like,
Yeah. I'm I'm hoping let's I'm hoping for a break. I will own.
mm-hmm,
While I appreciate the season, this was a longer-ish season than what we've had in the past. And while we got to know the queens, I will own that I appreciated the double, you know, format of the first couple of episodes because we did get to know the queens. I know all the queens really well.
mm-hmm,
Even like the first eliminated queen, Kimura. Like I remember her.
mm-hmm,
I can't say that for other seasons.
right.
It's still like who? Alyssa Summers, I think was her name. Who that? Who that? Who that? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going there.
Girl. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so like I know the queens, and this did help, prepare. Having all of the queens kind of separated, and I'm sure there are reasons behind it, COVID related, I'm sure, but it did help. And but again, it did lengthen the season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I will appreciate if there is a break, that there is a break.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect there to be, um, like we're saying, we like I can't look up anything about All Stars 6. Like I don't see anything. I've not heard anything.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I heard was that it was that it was going to Paramount Plus, and that was months ago. And that's it. Like we don't have a starting date, we don't have an air date, and we would have that by now if it was coming within the next few weeks.
Right.
So we'll see.
So, just a few days, we'll have a crowned winner, and we'll be back in a week to discuss the finale and how we think things were executed and what happened, and if there was any drama or not. Don't know. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see where things go from here. And if you have thoughts about like this season so far, let us know. There's plenty of ways to do that. You can go to cubsoutloud.com and you could like leave a comment on one of our blog posts. You could send us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. You could also just give us a call. And to do that, you can program us into your contacts because you're going to call us again. And that number is 361 COL Talk. That's 361 265 8255. And you can leave a voicemail message. We'd be happy to play it on the show. Or if you don't want us to play it, that's fine. You can just like leave a comment and we'll listen to it, but we won't air it. Look at you, like leaving a comment. If you would like to find us online, you can pretty much type in Cubs Out Loud as one word anywhere on social media, and you'll probably find us there.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to chat with us, you can join the Telegram group chat that's can be found at tinyurl.com/telegram. That's TELEGRAM -COLDR. And we also have a calendar online if you're interested in the regular series of episodes that are airing when we're recording them. So you can go to tinyurl.com/calendar-COL. If you would like to support Cubs Out Loud, there's several ways to do it. You can go to zazzle.com/Cubs Out Loud and support us. We have some merch that has the Cubs Out Loud Drag Race logo on it. Damon's holding up our two-tone coffee mug. So it has our crown bear head with the Drag Race in pink letters on it on one side, And on the other side is what we kind of call the banner image. So it has our like extended length logo with our tagline, the Bear Podcast of Indeterminate Length, and it says www.codsoutloud.com. And it has a lovely handle that matches the interior of the coffee mug. So there's that and plenty of other like houseware accessory items, including sorts of apparel, t-shirts and things. I happen to have, if I can reach it, my, embroidered hat. I almost wore it today because it would technically go with the gray shirt, but I decided not to.
You would have been looking like Trade.
Well, there's that. I don't think I've ever been claimed that in my lifetime, but yeah. If you would like to support us in other ways, you could become a patron. Go to patreon.com/cubsoutloud. That's patreon.com/cubsloud. And for as little as $1 a month, you can help support us with a monthly subscription, and you get access to all of the information, like the pre-show, post-show. Like you get full unedited cuts of the episodes along with some other rewards, depending on which level you're at. And if you would like to make a donation, just a one-time tip, we would gladly take it. You can go to paypal.me/cubsoutloud. You can also help promote COLDR online. You can rate us on iTunes. Obviously, subscribe on Google Play Podcasts, wherever you can pretty much find us. And COLDR does have its own audio RSS feed. So if you are interested in just us as a podcast, that's fine. You can do that. So, Damon, if they were to get in touch with you, where would they find you online?
If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCub79 on most bear-related sites or on Facebook. Or you can find me as pup_umbra, that's UMBRA, on the Twitters. But the Twitter is definitely not safe for work. It's a fun little mix of drag and porn and anime and porn.
Mm-hmm. If you would like to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as Gabber73. And when it comes to things with drag, I created a Twitter account that's GARBEAR73DRAG. And with that, we will be back in a week when we have crowned a winner.
A winner.
Mm-hmm. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Oh.
So, do you think it's going to be a classic round robin, like two, like they spin the wheel and two people get paired up and two people get paired up, and then we just go through the elimination rounds like they have in past seasons?
I think that's what it's going to be. I feel like that's what it's going to be.